team, welcome to the video. Welcome back. If you are returning because you're currently subscribed, then it's great to have you. If you haven't subscribed yet, welcome to the AA gang. And if you want to learn about diet, nutrition, exercise, how to get shredded from a guy who's got the voice of a 12-year-old, and I kid you not, I was the leading role at school when I was in year 10 for Evita. I was Perron and had to perform on stage in that musical. Then hit the subscribe button. But anyway, in this workout, this is from last Friday, and I was doing 5 sets of 10 to start with my handstand push-ups. Against this wall, it's quite rough, so I find that my feet catch on the bricks a little bit. But my handstand push-ups definitely are a weakness. My shoulders in general are quite a weakness. So I'm trying to improve on them by doing handstand push-ups pretty often. I'd like to get my 50 push-ups, handstand push-ups for time strict down. So I think I got 6:16 last time, so I'd like to be able to get under 5 minutes. And here I moved on to, after the 5 sets of 10, moved on to some weighted pull-ups. I used 14 kilograms because I put a 10 kilo plate in the bag and I had 2 times 2 litre water bottles in here. And then I think it was 5 sets of 20, but obviously broken up because I couldn't do 20 repetitions in a row. And I definitely recommend you guys who can do pull-ups but want to be able to get muscle-ups and be able to do kipping pull-ups and stuff, get really, really strong at your strict pull-ups, and then the rest of it will come. Because when you can handle your body weight with extra weight on it, then when you return back to body weight, it will feel a whole lot easier, and then you'll be able to get used to the different movements that you need for the kipping handstand, kipping handstand push-ups, because that's body weight, kipping pull-ups, muscle-ups, doing them strict and doing them kipping. All of that stuff will be benefited from, if that's a word, from doing weighted body weight stuff. Then after that, moved on to some toaster bar. I'm looking to get some ankle weights to make the toaster bar a little bit more difficult. And then I brought this contraption home. I'd really recommend you guys get some of these because I think it's only like £13 on Amazon, or I got it from wish.com or something, and it's worked really, really well. It's a good tricep push down. You obviously just need to find somewhere in your house where you can attach it to. Don't attach it to something that's a little bit flimsy because it will break. But the actual thing itself, where you put the weights onto, says it can take up to 100 kilos. So that was pretty good. And then at the moment, body weight wise, I think I'm roughly about 81 kilos. But obviously the lighting outside doesn't do this, any justice at all. But I would say I'm about 11-12% body fat at the moment. So feeling in a pretty good place and pretty strong. And finished off this session with some straight arm pull downs and then some overhead tricep extensions. But you have to get really balanced with these tricep extensions just because of the nature of the movement with this machine. Alright, the time is now 20 to 10. I've just finished packing away stuff for personal training, and it was pretty dark outside. It looks like I train people in the pitch black. But there's quite a convenient light that I can put on in the other room. So we have lights beaming down on us when I do personal training sessions. But I need to show you. I've got all the kit down here, my bike and stuff, and the pull-up bar. But I've now got a new bench down here. We do have a slight problem though. So with this bench, I've built it. And the incline, it's alright. I mean, this lifts up so you can do incline stuff. And it's pretty good material. Then this is for a preacher curl. Then you can attach weights to here to do a lying leg curl and leg extension. But only thing is, when you try and come all the way up to do the full range of motion, it hits this bit here. So I was speaking to my dad and we think it might be like a bit of a design fault. But I'm trying to put my thinking cap on to see if I can somehow still have this preacher curl, but be able to use this bit for the full range of motion. But it's quite hard. You know, it's quite tough being a personal trainer. All these problems we have. Also, what do you think of the beard? I've been growing it for a little while. Shall I just keep it going, see what happens? It's nearly 9:45 now, so I'm going to try and pop via the co-op to see if I can get some cake, because I'm feeling a bit depleted on cake. So I need to get there quick. Okay, I did bail in the end because it's now nearly, well, between 10 to 10 and 5 to 10, so I'm not going to make it there in time. But I've got a little confession to make. Do you guys do the same thing as well? I have in the car like an emergency stash of food just in case, you know, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. So I have my little emergency ration of Miss Molly's. The emergency ration lasted probably for about 1 day. So I bring another pack of Miss Molly's, which is in my bag just here. So I'm going to replace it, but I guarantee that this will probably only last a few days as well. When it's called an emergency ration, I need to learn that's for only emergencies. But when you're in need of chocolate, it's an emergency anyway. Quite glad you're not driving with me now, because you're in for a bumpy ride. Let's go home. I need food. Food time. Food, glorious food. Hot sausage and mustard. Great film. Ren Collective songs at the moment. Definitely check them out. This is another good one if you want something a little bit more go-y and that gets on your feet. Hang on, let me find it. Starts off slow. Here we go. It's a good one to listen to. Have a listen. Oi, oi!
Little tip from an old pro, they can electrify cheese, so.
Right, today team, I've come back from swim teaching and I'm doing a little workout here, which I want you guys to try. It's a good leg tester to see how your muscular endurance is in your glutes, hamstrings and quads. So you may not be able to use the size dumbbells I've got, you might have heavier or lighter, but I'm using 22.5 kilo dumbbells, 50 repetitions for time, as fast as you can. The timer starts with the weights on the floor, so you need to get them adjusted onto your shoulders before you start. You can hold the dumbbells in any way though. No, you can't have them by your side, you have to have them on your shoulders or overhead, but just not by your side. Wait, no. Man, last time I had to do that, broken up into two, but I managed to pace that and do it in one big set this time. Definitely a PR. Give that a go, let me know what time you get. Now, I don't mean this in a rude way at all, because leg endurance certainly is tested when you go running and cycling, but I've come across people before who say they do a lot of leg training by just cycling and running. But honestly, when you start doing weighted leg exercises, especially like 50 dumbbell squats with 22.5 kilos in each hand, when you do something like that for time, it's a different type of leg endurance that you're starting to test, and it's definitely a good mental test. So I definitely recommend to do these types of tests to assess where your leg endurance and fitness in general, where it's at. And then the cycling and the running is more aerobic, and having aerobic, anaerobic and resistance training within a training plan is definitely beneficial in my opinion, because you'll be working all the different types of muscle fibres and you'll be protecting your knee joints, especially by building up the muscle groups in your legs with resistance training. Just had the service at St John's. It was a really good service this morning, and yesterday evening did the interview with my mate David. I put up on YouTube. There's a YouTube card on the screen right now if you want to go and see it. It was really good. If there's one main point I want to get across that he talked about, he said with his bodybuilding journey, if you've thought about your why and you have a really good reason for doing your bodybuilding journey, or it could be CrossFit for me, or it could be something completely different for you guys, it doesn't have to be sport, then it's something that you're going to be able to stick to in the long run, and I mean like years, because for myself and David in particular, faith is a big part of our why. But for yourselves, you just if you're not sure what your why is, then just have a really long think about why it is you're doing what you're doing, whether that be your passion or something that you'd like to pursue. I know plenty of mates who've maybe in regards to the gym have started and then either found it really difficult to stick to routine or have fallen off very quickly just because they haven't thought about their why, and they're really just doing it because in some cases they want to get the girls, or in I don't mean that in my own case. I mean, obviously with the gym you're going to build up your physique, but they've had very shallow reasons for doing the gym. But you really need to think about why you want to do it and what's really driving you. I'll show you what's around me at the moment. another thing I should mention with the interview as well, with David, he's an awesome guy. And hopefully we should meet up fairly soon in the future whenever coronavirus calms down a little bit. But he did some great stuff on nutrition. People were asking about carbing up, reducing water before a show. And then he was just talking about how his body is sensitive to carbohydrates, but that's not the same for everybody. So all of us are obviously uniquely made. And some of us might be able to carb up before a bodybuilding show, but he personally is not. It was all really interesting stuff. And then he talks about his faith as well, which was really great. But now, it's, oh no, I haven't changed the clocks. Why is it we had an extra hour in bed, but I'm still feeling completely knackered? I have no idea why. I think it's just the feeling on a Sunday. But I parked in Goffs Park. It's a really nice place to come for families. And there's a pull-up bar and dip station, I think, here as well. But I've just finished a little walk after walking my mate back from church. Now I'm going to go home and get some food, which I mentioned already. But I think it's because I'm getting a little bit hungry. I may even have a little bit of Miss Molly chocolate on the way home. Just a little bit. Let's go. I started the drive home in the rain, and now it's blistering sun. I mean, that's the UK for you at this time of year. It just kind of goes up and down with the weather. I've got a little confession to make. I know I do videos on fitness, but I have got a little guilty pleasure, which I didn't realise until I started driving home from church at the same time. So between about 2 and 2:45, on Radio 4, they have Gardener's Question Time. I don't know anything about plants, but I just like listening to it. It's funny hearing how the panel respond to some of the questions, and I'm starting to learn about the history of moss, how short you should have your grass in the garden, and how to make the garden look beautiful with different coloured plants.
So we have a full freezer, we have 2 new garden taps.
See, they're talking about taps at the moment.
A few inches later.
Oh, does anybody get that feeling on a Sunday of when you just can't get yourself to do anything? It's not obviously I've been doing stuff, but I don't know why on a Sunday I always seem to get a headache in the afternoon. I've still got a headache now, and I've just finished the Faith RX prayer call, which is really cool. If you want to check out Faith RX, they're a really cool company. It's the bottom link in the YouTube description. I encourage you to go and check that out. And I always, because I don't want to go catabolic and lose any muscle mass, so I always have to have a little bit of food whilst doing the prayer call. But I have to put my microphone on mute, otherwise they'll be hearing that the whole time. But I'm going to do this now. I'm sorry I've got the croakiest voice, just because I think I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. But I'm going to go inside and then get some dinner. I think we are having steak. Yes! Bit controversial, but I can't imagine ever having steak below medium well. It has to be medium well or well done. I've tried medium and it was disgusting. Sorry if you guys disagree with me on that, but woohoo! Nuh-uh. Has to be cooked. Now, time is 5 to 10. I'm about to sit down with the family. We're going to watch a couple of episodes of Modern Family because we've been loving it again recently. We're getting back into the groove of watching the episodes. But this is what I'm having for dinner now. So I've got carrots, green beans, mashed potato, and I've brought in here the main component of the meal, which looks absolutely amazing. It's a Chef Mum special. Let me show you what we've got down here. So in here, she's cooked steak bites. I think she's cut them up in small pieces. Then we've got carrots, green beans, onion, and then I think the steak juices, and I think Mum has put some onion gravy in with that and some other herbs and spices. Smells absolutely amazing. I wish I could say that this is all for me, but it's not, because it's for the whole family. I'm going to take out the beef pieces and some gravy. Very high protein meal. Very good way to get protein in. Just choose your form of meat, so that could be steak, chicken, turkey. Add vegetables to it, then a sauce of your choice, like Mum's done the steak juices here with onion gravy, but you could choose sweet and sour sauce or beef and black bean sauce or something, and then put it in a slow cooker.